Good. Good. Okay, guys, let's start. Welcome to this conversation officially. My name is Jana. I'm a creative director in WeCann Belgrade, and with me today I have my dear colleagues from WeCann offices around Europe. We are all part of I&F Grupa, the same but quite different, which is beautiful, and this makes us an interesting group of people. I want to present, first of all, the people that you will talk today. We have Flonia from WeCann Tirana. We have Josefine from WeCann in Sweden. Hello, Josefine. We have Daniel, from WeCann Zagreb. Vladimir Simić, WeCann Skopje. We have Regner from WeCann in Copenhagen, and we have Vladimir Ćosić from Drive agency in Belgrade. Good. So as you saw, the topic of our conversation today is creativity is the only way to survive. So you will, of course, I'm kindly asking you to forgive us the English and all the slips that we are going to make, but I think everything is forgivable in this the craziest few weeks that we have spent in our personal and professional lives. So creativity is the only way to survive. I think we have witnessed, from our homes, isolated in between lunches and homeworks for kids, in our homes, in our grandparents' homes, in which I am today. So I want to open this conversation with a simple question. Was this the craziest month ever in your professional lives? Please tell us.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll start. I think to break the ice. First of all, I would like to think that this is not the strangest thing that ever happened to me.
Okay.
Yes. However, it's definitely one of the strangest things that happened to us, not as a civilization, but as a global culture. I think it's one of the strangest things that happened since internet. And for me, it looks like all of a sudden, whether we want it or not, the world that we live in is united in, and I think that is fear, unfortunately. And deep down inside, we are all afraid, if not for ourselves, then we are afraid for someone we care about, for family members, significant other, a child or a parent. And it shows that we are not, for me, it shows that we are not that different from each other. And the world that we built for generation is a very fragile. So when we walk out of the lockdown, we will probably live without one thing, and that thing is a sense of safety. So even when the lockdown ends, until we found a vaccine and we beat this disease, we will not feel safe. And but we will walk out with something more, I think. I think we'll walk with a very strong sense of solidarity. And we can, of course, go back to our selfish ways once this is over. But for now, we're going to be the better and improved versions of ourselves. Yes. So I hear myself again and again. I think there's some kind of technical difficulty.
Vlado, we hear you quite well, but kindly asking all people that are not speaking to mute. So it's a little exercise, but we'll get used to it. Good. Anybody else? How is it on the other side of the world? What is north?
Sorry, I have to unmute myself. Well, I agree with Vladimir. It's a situation when we are in a crisis, in a weird situation where we're all united against this virus, and we're just seeing that we're just a bunch of, we're made of the same stuff. We're just cells, and I think that maybe that will actually make us more, that we come out from this crisis more united. And maybe we couldn't just rush on brutally, and that we should take this time to reflect and understand what is really important to us. And it's true that we are discovering that people are more, that we have more empathy and solidarity for each other than we might not have thought before when we have to fight something together. So, agree with that.
Sure. Good, Josefine, thank you for this. Since we are all here, a part of the same, working in the same industry, it's good that we put our conversations now in this frame, and this intro that Vlada and you gave was the perfect one. So what we actually wanted to talk today is how situation changed. What is the status on our markets? What do our clients say? What do we feel the role of creativity is now? Is it changed, or is it the same like it used to be, only in new, new brackets, put now in new brackets? So we saw different approaches, right, in this following past weeks, how clients in the world reacted. We know from Coke going quite modestly and putting their focus on another point rather than communication, to Nike that is popping a new commercial, and every single one of them brilliant, almost every 2 weeks. What do you say about this? Who wants to elaborate a little bit? What's the situation with our clients?
I will talk if you agree, I will talk about all the clients and let's say the streams that I'm seeing, like from the beginning of the thing till now. It's like I think that we are still actually bombarded by brand sections, like from all sides, and this is how the brands cope with the situation. It's like a kind of a let's say semi-panic mode still. So they're trying to push as many ideas as they have. So how it started, like at first everybody was doing the awareness stuff, like how to keep social distance, how to wash hands, etc., etc. You remember everybody did this, like pulling the letters of the logos, etc., etc. So this was the first thing that everybody did. In parallel, many brands, and really many brands, show generosity and humanity by donating like money, which was really needed at the time, and it's still needed. And I think that's one of the best, and maybe not like creativity wise smart ways, but the best ways to help in this situation, really. Then everybody turned to stuff you can do to home, like to occupy your mind, occupy your body. What can you do when you are like 24/7 inside, and now everybody is doing this. So this is like the third wave of the communication that is happening. It's like how to keep our sanity, actually. And quite recently, some brands started to ease our lives in a way, like whether by simplifying the online shopping or things like this, like how to simplify the small life things. And finally, right now we are in the phase, I would say, of congratulating the heroes. And different brands see different groups as heroes. Whoever brand considered to be hero, like senior people or kids or policemen or firemen, of course the medical staff and the doctors. So right now we are seeing and this is telling me that actually, no matter how far we are as people, as creatives, we are part of the together conscious, let's say, and we are thinking the same stuff at the same time. Now some creatives manage to produce something, others don't, but we are thinking the same patterns here. And I believe that each of you had the same or similar ideas when I'm talking about this. The similar ideas are done by Nike and Coke and all these huge brands on huge markets. So this is actually the thing. And my thinking about this is that there is no perfect recipe for all brands. Like everybody should do as they feel they should do at the moment. I think the only thing that is not like permitted in my opinion is not to do anything. I think the brands have the responsibility to do a lot of stuff, and this is like the time to do it. And the second thing is they need to be sincere when they do something, because people spot the sincerity and the attention, and they react like with huge amount of appreciation to it.
Jana, if I can say a few words.
Yes, please do. I wanted to say, Vlada, you nailed it. Now we can close the panel, but I have more questions coming up. So please, Daniel, jump in, and we have Regner and Flo. We haven't seen your faces, so please just jump in. I have questions prepared. So
okay. Good. So Vlada is definitely right, and what he said, it's true. All these streams of communication. I think the first one, a lot of brands in Croatia are going towards the first stream Vlada mentioned, keep the distance, wash your hands, stay home, and so on. But I think that's wrong, especially in this phase now. And I would like to address that because it's not the purpose of their brands. That's a wrong thing to do. So I think what brands should do is what actually Simon Sinek said in this lecture, Start With Why. I think all of us watched that. It said, define what your purpose is, why you're existing, why your brand is existing, your product is existing here. So you should ask yourself how your brand can actually improve the quality of life of the people. That's the thing. What's your role of your brand in the society in this situation right now? So, for example, we had some challenges with our clients, and for example, our first and the biggest client is Telecom, Croatian Telecom, and it would be wrong if we say to the people as a telecom, you should wash your hands. But it is okay if we say clean your cell phone, because that's something that is connected to them, okay, and to the situation. It's just an example.
Good. Thank you, Daniel. Can we, for Flonia in Tirana and for Regner in Copenhagen, what are your experiences? Can you tell us a little bit more? What do your clients say on this market? Do you? I guess you share the same feeling yeah. But please tell us.
Albania is a small market, as you all might know, and it was this. It's like one of the strangest things that happened this period is that this situation just came really fast, and as we are very easy to adapt quickly as humans, we have been adapting fast to this new normality. Like, I could not imagine that a few weeks before, I could not imagine that I would be like home working remotely, not because I want to have a nice journey somewhere, but because we have to. So it's a different situation. But it's impressive how all of us can adapt, and I think that creativity and communication is something that is really important during this time, and it might lighten up a bit all this amount of information that we are receiving. What happened with the client is every process. They needed some time to proceed this. Some of them became panicked. Because it's also for the business something that is affecting all of them. But at the same time, for example, we have Intesa Sanpaolo Bank, and they have continued their communication because, as also Daniel said, their product was the same. Their product was important, because they have digital banking that are promoting, and it was not to ask people but mostly to comfort them in another way of communicating, like they could avoid all this mess and just have the service at their homes. But it was good at the beginning, and it's the client that has continued its smooth communication, and it's getting better with the time. One of the things that happened is that all the brands, they were communicating online, and it was the same tagline for each of them. And they were saying, like, stay at home, we come to you. Yeah. And we were like, oh my God, please don't come to me all at once, like.
Yeah.
So it was something like, and you don't see it's the matter of creativity or the way you communicate and how you are reaching to people. And it's in cases like this, it's important to see how real you are to them. We were aiming, or not aiming, but just pushing them in a way to continue their communication, because it's important, and it's also a kind of a relation with, it's not just the audience, they are clients. It's part of the business going on, and it's very important to keep this kind of relation of trust from all this.
True, Flonia. Thank you for this point. And we want to hear from Copenhagen, from Regner. And here, after this little bit of the introduction that we did, 3 points, we will come to the next, section of our conversation, where we will try to share with you guys the best pieces of, we call it COVID work, which is not really nice to say, but let's say maybe to share a piece of work from the world, or even something, if we manage to work on something, and maybe to elaborate on this, and from here to draw some conclusions. So Regner, hi, where are you?
Hi, Regner from Copenhagen.
Hey, hello.
Hey guys. So I think we're really now using that trust we've built with clients, and all that strategy that we've been pushing for throughout the years, fighting to find the meaningful role, has given us a really good and strong base to communicate and to advise our clients with. And I think, like you also were talking about, this trust has been so important moving forward in this weird time. So I think what we're also trying to do is to take our own medicine and say, like us at WeCann, we're a huge global company as well. What's our meaningful role? Because I think what we truly see in times like these, the importance of communication and the importance of getting messages across is just more vital than ever. And that's also why a workshop like this is so important, to spread the message that what our superpower is creativity. It's thinking when normal tools don't work, we have to come up with the abnormal tools, and that's what creativity really is, right? And I think for us now is really the time to keep pushing and keep using that to our clients, to our communities, to our friends, and wherever we can apply those skills.
True, thank you. I want to. I agree with you, and I think it's very important. In Belgrade, in WeCann, and in Agency Drive, we spent the last 5 to 6 weeks intensively talking to our clients, trying to hear what the problems are, trying to propose few ideas that we thought were genius. But it's a very hard period because clients have huge responsibility and brands wear huge responsibility. And I want to start by sharing a piece of work that is dear to my heart. It's so small, but it's kind of knocking on the doors of helping people, ease their lives. And now, if my internet is going to listen to me, I will upload it soon the visual. If not, I don't want to. I will tell you what it is. We have a Maxi is one of the biggest retailers in Serbia, and it's devoted to all the people, of course. And as you know, we have a lockdown in Serbia where people who are 65 plus cannot leave their apartments at all, except for the shopping once a week. So we thought, okay, the guys are isolated except for the help that we share the screens with them and spend times with them. How can we ease their lives? So we thought about what's going on practically there. And we thought, who is throwing their garbage, right? Who? No, if you're locked, you cannot leave the home. I mean, your garbage is just getting bigger and bigger. So our client, Maxi Supermarket, for them, we made a little sticker, right? That we shared to the elderly people on their shopping, slot. And we said, here's a sticker, put the sticker on your door. And with this sticker, neighbors will know and take out your garbage, So this was the small thing. It's basically a sticker. Let me see if I can share it now. Or not, but maybe later, and in comments, if the guys want to know, we can share. Do you have Josefine, anybody else? Do you have any piece of work, yours or from the world, that you see that you like?
Well, I prepared a little. Let's see if I can share.
Perfect.
Let's see if it's possible.
Let's see.
You see my screen?
Yeah, we see. Perfect.
Okay, good.
Perfection.
So I will come into what work that has inspired me and us. But first, I actually wanted to share some learnings from this time.
Perfect.
And that starts where possible ends, because I think that looking at history, the biggest creative achievements have been when we are cornered as people, and the creativity is actually born out of a point of no return, when we don't find an answer or when people panic. So along with the healthcare workers and the scientists and the disease experts, I think that creativity is going to be a hero after this, because we will all have seen the role creativity plays in these situations. And it's proof that it's in our spinal cord, because it comes from anywhere. It's not only from our industry, it really comes from anyone. When respirators run out, we find a solution to use a scuba mask instead. Or when the sanitizers are sold out, breweries or like Absolut Vodka in Sweden start reorientating their production to start to sell sanitizers. Fashion brands like H&M do protection clothes and so on. So I think that there's no end to what the ability of creativity can solve right now. But it's also an act of selflessness, and real creativity always shines through. It's people are getting really great at seeing what is actually done out of true concern and what's not. And of course, the ones that take advantage of this crisis will suffer more afterwards. And I want to show you an example of a work that I really think is beautiful. And it's from Dove. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see it. We see it. Perfect.
Yeah, and I know this is heavily discussed, as with everything right now. But what I like about this is that it's so on brand. Dove has been doing this tribute to beauty of different kind for ages, and now this is a tribute to courage, because courage is beautiful. So I wanted to bring this piece up, and maybe also you have comments on it, but it's not that you haven't seen
Yeah.
These people being that people are thanking them in different ways, but I think that it's credible for Dove to do it. Also because they are donating free soap as a thank you. But anyway, there is also a site called didtheyhelp.com where you can type in any brand and see what they've done, and see what you think, if they will be remembered or not.
This is quite brutal. So, okay, guys, the brands, please check if you're there. But yeah, I saw it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and also the third one is that I think someone talked about it before, but I don't either believe that you should be quiet in these times. Like why should you? There are people working at every brand and people who care. So I think it's our responsibility to bring their voice, to be their voice, and to tell their stories. So I think we should continue doing that. Can I unshare now somehow?
You just press the unshare button, and that's it, what you said. Perfect. Thank you, Josefine. This was wonderful. I think you have a lot of how to say quote material here. So if anybody wants to take a snapshot out of the screens, it's really good.
Josefine Richards.
Anyone else maybe has a piece of work that you want to talk about?
I can, Jana.
Yes, please.
I can show the piece of work we did in the agency. So it was like I think, I don't know, a week ago or 10 days ago, and you know, it's a strange feeling because today it's like nothing special, but 10 days ago it was like a nice thing, you know. So it's not the most creative thing we did, but it's important for the agency because it's again for the Croatian Telecom, our biggest client. Actually, it was the proactive project. We started thinking what we can do for them in this situation, you know, where you are narrowed with this production things, and what we can actually do for them. TV in Croatia, I mean, in the whole world is exploded, you know, everybody's watching. So we knew we have to do something. And we did one piece of work. I'm gonna show you now. This. You can see it?
Yep.
Okay.
2x puta y. Ovih dana svijet možda nije isti kao prije. Život možda nema one iste navike.
Bog, kako smo?
No, iako smo razdvojeni, ipak ostajemo snažno povezani. Zajedno razmjenjujemo poruke brižnosti, zajedno razgovaramo, gledamo i dijelimo, zajedno se podižemo i ohrabrujemo. I zato smo tu za vas, kako biste uz pomoć tehnologije u svakom trenutku ostali povezani sa svime što vam je važno. Kad smo povezani, sve je moguće. Hrvatski Telekom.
Okay, so
great.
It's just a sec. Okay. So it talks for the ones who can understand it. It talks about the connectivity. I mean, the telecom, it's now the essential part of our lives, and it's their ground. So it's kind of logical. I just want to mention then the way we did it production-wise. The director we used to work with for this client, who really knows the client, and the DOP, we called them, and the production house as well. So they shot their families at home, you know. So the director is in the ad, the DOP is in the ad, people from our agency in the business video call are in the ad. So it's done by our, you know, colleagues and friends. So this is how we did it. It was kind of strange because it was a lockdown. And I mean, we were excited about it, you know. Like I said, 14 days after, it's not something special, but you know, 2 weeks ago, it was like we were really excited about it.
And I have to witness that they were one of the first to pop, like how we call them, response communication. So it's good. I think timing is also important. And as we say, as we move from the state of panic into state of adaptation, we should dig for the meaningful roles for our brands. So anybody else, maybe Vlada, Regner, Flo, do you have anything that particularly inspired you that you wanted to share, like a Dove example of creating that from?
I have something to share if it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, I didn't know that this was a campaign. I just knew it after I took part in it, and I will show you the artwork. Actually, if I manage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
We see a beautiful rainbow.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. How to unshare it now?
You just press the share button again, please.
Unshare. Okay, so what's the thing? It came through my kindergarten teacher, actually. She gave like the task, she gives the task to kids, like to keep them occupied during this period. One of the tasks, like draw a rainbow and write down like everything will be fine. And once you do it, you hang it on the window, you know. And I know it's cheesy, I know it's like really expected, I know it's not like the original idea, etc., but that was the one thing when I saw it. It was the one thing that really moved me, and it made me feel good. And even now, like when I look at it on my window, it makes me feel good. And I think this is like the main actual purpose of advertising, to make people feel good right now. That's why I'm not like against. I know that many people are saying like we should be like, people are dying, we should be really serious, we should do serious stuff. But I'm not into this. I'm all for the comedy as well. You know, while we are living, you know, we should be smiling. So that's my idea of the campaign right now.
To add something.
I think okay.
Sorry.
Okay, please continue.
Thank you. To add something, like Vlada was saying, as part of the creativity process in the office during this time, we did a kind of experiment with our creative team. We started writing a story, and we tasked the other person to continue it. And we did it one after the other. And you could see from the things that they were writing, it started from a dog, it was the main character. And we saw from the things that they were writing that everyone would put their inner thoughts and what they were experiencing at the moment. So this led us to a small initiative to do some graphics looking towards the future. And I can share you quickly just one of them. The idea is that as things are changing really fast, we also should look towards our new normality, the new one that will come. We don't know how it will be, but we are working and we are doing our best to make it better. And we are doing these small sacrifices today to have this new normality. It is uploading. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, it's there.
We started from the stories and then we decided to create a character that would tell his story. And it's a small project that we are on for the moment. It is uploading, but I don't know, maybe I can share my desktop better.
Yeah, we can try talking about while we wait for the work to upload the new normality and the plans for the future as we wait for new proper briefs and campaigns. And from our experience, what I think we all okay, I'm waiting now. Let's here we see.
Okay, we see it.
Yep, we see it.
This is the story of this little character that is doing everything he can to go back to his love again.
Oh,
and it's and we are producing a small series of this one, and it's under the hashtag of Together Soon.
It's a perfect introduction. Quite nice. Quite nice. It's a perfect introduction to my next point that I would love us to talk about, and it's why we talk with our clients, and they have their priorities, and it's a serious point in time for their businesses. What would be the role of the agencies? What should we do in between talking to clients, and should we rethink ourselves? Should we maybe put our asset to work? Like what we do best. What we do best is we write and we design, and we know how to promote. And there are initiatives all over the web where agencies are putting their know-how to help others in need, right? From promoting small businesses to design exhibitions and writing copies for the radio commercials for the small and medium enterprises. What's your point of view on this? Vlado, you have a point of view, and Regner, you have a point of view. I can see it in your eyes.
Yes. I think the clients react very well if we are proactive, if we are towards them, if we offer them things in this situation. I think they're reacting very well. And also regarding our previous topic, I just have to say a few things. The brands that we work for, A1 and Halkbank Macedonia, in the first place, had both of them. They had this stay-at-home videos where they asked us to stay at home, and I think that was very interesting. In the first 2 weeks, that thing happened, and then afterwards, some of the proactive work we are doing. And the clients are reacting very well, and they are very interested in this kind of cooperation. You almost have their ear when you didn't have it before, or you didn't try to talk about it before. Now it's almost your obligation to get in conversation with clients regarding this. So yes, I think we should, not only we should, we have to, because it's our job at the end of the day. And there is no brief since nobody saw this situation before, as we were talking in the beginning. So yes, we should, and we have an obligation. And it's going to be a new normal at the end of the day. Maybe we'll have TVCs with people with gloves and masks and social distancing. I don't know how we are going to shoot love scene with that, but we can try always. But I don't know. I find it somehow interesting to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah,
that's my point of view. Regner, please.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I think we've been. It's almost like we've been trained for this situation. We have this power of creativity, and it's needed all aspects of our world, right? With clients, with the community, everywhere. And I think, you know, it's kind of like comparing it to Second World War. It's almost to the date 80 years ago that Denmark was occupied. And when you kind of relate to that period, imagine how much content, how many stories have been created in that period. And they're never about the people who sat back and did nothing. It's always about the rebels and the creators who went out and acted. And I think that's our responsibility in the moment right now. And that's in our culture. And then it's also in advising our clients, because I believe that nothing will be the same and nothing should be the same after this period. So basically what I'm saying is a lot of the work that we've done prior to this have been in an upgoing market where there's been surplus and there's been a lot of positivity and stuff. And now the situation is completely different. So we have to go back and revisit actually basically the work we've done with clients as well. Say like, what can we keep doing? What do we have to change? So I think we're going to have a lot of work ahead of us, recalibrating.
Yeah, so talking about the change, to add to your point, I'm sorry, my son is entering the windows. I think a lot of things are going to change, and there is one topic that we didn't tackle, and it's the how we work, because we have people that we are responsible for, and some people love working from home, some hate working from home, but I think we are also going to question, you know, the working hours, sitting together all the time, of how we collaborate. What do you think? Are things going to go back to normal, and we are all going to, you know, just get into our chairs and continue with lunch? So are we going to? Is something going to happen? Yes.
Maybe okay. Can I just add something on the previous one?
Yeah, please do.
You know what's interesting? For example, they said, you know, there is a theory that the creativity actually it's a combination of the information that we get from the outside, right? So our brain is actually combining it and creating something new. So what's happening, for example, in Croatia, I guess it's in the same in all the countries. You know, suddenly the experts are becoming the TV stars, the media stars. You know, the people that actually really have a lot of knowledge about some certain topic, and you know, I think it's maybe a new path of the knowledge period. You know, something that it's the science and the knowledge. And I think the answer is in that we should learn every day something really new and be informed in order to, so we can be actually creative, you know. And I think we should. It's not about just creativity, you know, naked creativity, just you know, sitting on the chair and being creative. It's about learning some new things, and you know, reading and listening to some smart people. There is a lot of smart people around the world that are actually going outside now with their theories and telling us what world is going to face really soon. And I think we should listen to them, to those human beings that are really the smartest people in the world, and we should follow them. We should follow them with the values and with, you know, and those values are going to end up in the messages of our campaigns for our clients.
Well, if I may add something, like to continue on what you just said, like listening to one of the smartest people that I knew in my life, it's Vlada also knows her. It was like a professor from university. She told us, like, basically that we are blessed to live in Serbia in times like this, you know. She said it like, I don't know, 10 years ago, but it's applicable now. So we as a creator...
More than 10.
Yeah, more than, yeah, okay, 20.
Much more than 10.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's applicable to now. Like we as a creatives should be really grateful that we are living in the times, and in the times that are so dramatic, because it should be like the inspiring. And just to continue the analogy, like she said, like you see that all the best pieces of art and artists are from the countries that has like really gory, like bloody history, like the UK and France, etc., etc. And she says, like, and look at the Switzerland, you know, they have only cuckoo clocks and like army knives. It's nothing, you know, because they didn't have like the bloody history. So trying to joke now, but okay, you get the point. I think that although dramatic, it should be inspiring for us, but to a certain point. At one point, when it crosses like the line of being inspirational, it becomes a drag, and it becomes like really overwhelming for the creatives. So this is like the line we are right now walking on, not to go into the overwhelmed like mode and to be inspired.
Good, guys, believe it or not, we are talking already 45 minutes, and I'm just announcing that we will slowly close down and asking kindly people if they want to ask us anything. And I want to finish off also with a dramatic topic. And I want to ask Josefine, as one of the most awarded creative directors amongst us, the topic is creative festivals. Do you miss them? What do you think will happen with the creative festivals, starting with Cannes and regional festival Eurobest? Do you miss them? Do you think things will be back in normal? Will the criteria change? What will we judge? Josefine, what's your point of view on this, please?
Oh, that's a tricky question.
Yes.
Why did I get that one?
I asked them to open up. Maybe it will be easier for you.
Well, in Sweden now, our national award show is going to be digital. And I think it's good that they go on with it. But still, I think half of the benefit or the greatness with these shows are that you meet each other, you have the seminars, and you get the chance to discuss trends and problems in the industry and so on. So you lose a lot. I think after this, we will maybe have to have a COVID-19 category, because it's going to be overloaded with these kind of work. I also think that we should open up for a category in Cannes, and I will pitch this to them, to actually award anyone who has come up with a creative solution, to give a line to a financial director who's come up with a solution for a company in these times, or whatever. But I think it's time to look broader.
I think I'm so happy to hear that, Josefine, because I've been thinking the same. I heard a really funny quote. Somebody said as a joke, they're like, "Oh no, Cannes is being cancelled. So many charity campaigns done for no reason."
Yeah.
But I agree. But I was also like, I was listening. There was at some point somebody just started talking about how we shouldn't award cases that had anything to do with COVID. And I was a little bit like, like why? Because they're doing a huge difference. Why is that different from doing campaigns for cancer or for obesity or for famine? So I think a solution like you're suggesting is much more positive and much more encouraging and inspiring.
It's like the Nobel Prize in Sweden. So we can make Cannes bigger.
Yes.
Yeah, I would just like to say a few words about this. I mean, you know, I think creatives have special relationships with the festivals. You know, it's a love and hate relationship. But now when they're cancelled, actually, we can see that they're not just here to make some companies' shares more valuable or to feed the egos of the creatives, but they are actually here to, you know, keep the advertising community alive and hungry and inspired. And this community is actually here to protect, and the festivals are actually here to protect our industry. That's actually the role of the festivals. It's not about the awards and going on stage and so on. Once or a few times it's fun, but after all, it's not. So it's more about this community, and that's actually the real role of the festivals, from what I.
But I think an interesting topic to discuss then is, because what I felt is that after the COVID, after the work from home, and after everybody has jumped on Teams and Zoom and all this, we've had much more global discussions that are almost from week to week taking up these points, and I really appreciate those things actually. So I think that's kind of like combining all creative forces, and not just on touch points one time at a year, but actually from week to week to week, like events like this one.
Yeah, and I think that before the crisis, it was important for us to prove the value of creativity, but now after this, it will become even more important for us to prove our existence, why we should exist. And it's important to open up for these discussions to show the effects of good advertising, and I think that our competence can actually be applied to other areas if you open up for that. And why shouldn't we be able to help, I don't know, a hospital with a problem that they have, and where creativity could solve the problem? It's just, we should, after this, maybe the people are more open for this kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Vlado, you wanted to say something.
Which Vlada?
You.
Me or the other one?
No, I'm just agreeing on the thing. Like, why couldn't hospitals be our clients? I mean, I can have like the angry answer and say that they couldn't pay us. But anyway, I think that we should do it. And I think about the whole festival thing. I think it's okay, and I think it's kind of humane and smart to skip 1 year with it. I think it's okay to do the stuff because we want to do the stuff this year. And there will be anyway plenty of years to do competition in our small arena, so.
Any thoughts for the end of the conversation, something that we missed to cover that you feel is worth sharing? Any questions with the guys? Questions, maybe, guys, for those who are still with us after 45 minutes, you can unmute yourselves if you want, and you can ask questions here. So please, you have the floor now. Maybe, or maybe not. So it doesn't. You can always after, because I know people are shy in asking questions.
I would like to discuss something. Because Vladimir, you also discussed these phases that we go through in a crisis like this. We've kind of seen, the first ones where it's kind of like, okay, it's about getting information out. It's about, the wash your hands, social distancing and stuff. And then we see the action. We see companies reinventing their product line and truly contributing, and then the empowerment of nurses and small businesses and stuff. And then it seems like inevitably we're going to have a return to normal phase, where we're going to see creative executions based on us attempting to go back to an everyday or normal day after the crisis. But maybe it's interesting to discuss whether we predict other phases that we can already now use as leverage and starting points on generating ideas for our clients and purpose for our clients. Like, what other steps should there be in between You know, are we going to see like what, like it's kind of like in the core we have the immediate focusing on the disease, and now it seems like if we're going outside to small businesses, who else are being affected by this as side effects, and how can we help them?
Actually, when I was talking about this, I wanted to say like what is my thinking that the next phase would be like for the communication of the brands. But then like I thought, okay, maybe there will be festivals after all, so maybe I keep it just for myself and for my clients.
Good.
I'm joking. I have no idea how it will go. You know, like some of the people are talking about the second wave of the disease. So I really don't know. I'm thinking now like that the campaign after this is over and after it's fully over, we'll be really happy, like merry ones, like, like after the wars, as you said, like. After each war, there was like a wave of movies that were like really joyful. So I think this is what's going to happen.
My point of view on this is that we are not going to be the same, but we are not going to be different. And I think two words will play big. It's going to be solidarity and collaboration, and that we are going to see models that brands will communicate with how to say. Bigger responsibility on their shoulders. I think the tone and the voice of the brands, I think we will be, it's strange. We try to predict, and now we are pitching two projects to big clients, and we also have a task. What will happen once we go back? Who knows, you know? Yeah. Will I hug you next time, Flonia, or Josefine, will we kiss, or will we not? You know, when we will travel, so who knows? So for the end, I think we had, and I'm finishing here soon. Thank you all, really.
Can I say something as well, Jana, since Divna is here? Hi.
Yes, Divna, please welcome. This is Divna. Divna is our copywriter. Please,
hi.
Divna, jump in.
I was listening carefully to everybody, so I was like thinking how...
But you need to turn on the camera.
I need to turn on the camera.
If you want, please.
Okay. So I was listening carefully, and the way I see our agency and our business is like the way of translators between really smart people and not maybe the smartest one on the planet. So we have messages that we understand, and we like to have to translate to other people. So now the brands in these situations have this huge space to fill with the new set of values. And I think it should be with a firm voice, like you said, Jana, the things that have distinguished themselves, like solidarity and collaboration. So I think that the agency's task and role in all the situation should be to encourage the brands to talk about these values even more and to repeat them in order to maybe, I apologize for the revolutionary tone, create this new world that we all talk about, we wish to live in. So this is like the opportunity and a possibility, but I see it as a responsibility of the agencies. So that's it. Thank you. My hair is nice. Bye.
Good point. That's quite a responsibility, but it's a really good point. Yeah.
Thanks.
Good.
Something else to just a closing remark from me is we were discussing a little bit whether Corona is inspiring, and for me, I think looking at that is like Corona is not very inspiring, but everything happening around it is. So the people, the brands, our business actually is really inspiring. And then I think also the speed and the action is truly inspiring, and I think that's maybe something we can hold on to for the future. That like we can go back and see, look, you can actually execute at tremendous speed. We can make a campaign in 2 days. It doesn't have to take a year. It doesn't have to take multiple people to approve and produce and blah blah blah. Look, you know, Burger King came out with
as well.
Sorry?
That's dangerous as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's dangerous.
please
Yeah,
don't
so
say this to our clients.
Yeah. But
But
it's
being
also
reactive in the same way as a newsroom, to be
Yes.
reactive and response with a quick, something quick in social media or something really simple.
yeah. So I think if we're fast and if we're informed, we can really create true change.
good, guys. Thank you. So it seems
Can I
that
add something? Jana,
yes. Sorry, yes.
sorry, just a short question lining on in line with you just said regarding the how fast we are working now. Do you think that the relationship between the agency and the process between the agency and the clients will change?
I
mean,
think
in the creative process, especially because this situation showed us that everybody should be creative in a way. I mean, how you organize your business, how you organize, as Jana was talking about Maxi, they really did, a whole retailer here and probably all over the world, did a great job to change their way of working, I mean, in 180 degree. So do you think that this will change somehow the relationship between the agency and the client in the future?
I think so, yes, it will,
Yeah,
because, well, we've produced also 2 campaigns during these 2 last weeks, but also together with the client, much more together with the client. Everyone sitting in online, offline approvals, looking at the same screen and approving.
Yeah. That was my point, yeah.
And I think collaboration, as Jana said, it will be easier now after this.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most important things that happened during this period, I would say. I don't know.
It is for sure. It is, and it's good that we are leaving the old models of we brief you, you think, then you come to us, and there's a little play for us, and then we debrief you. I think it's really, we should be, and I think the Regner's point, I think things are going to be faster, and
but it's not just a matter of being faster in creating, but being faster in communication, in decision making, in finding the final purpose or the objectives, whatever. I mean, not just
to be clear,
like create campaigns in 3 days. It's not good. I mean, sometimes it's important, but sometimes it's not that good. But the way how you make decisions maybe could be or will be a little bit more effective, at least.
Just to be clear, I think it will be like, and it will change, but only for the certain clients that are anyway like smart and fast in thinking, etc., etc. And I think that again, my prediction is half of the clients wouldn't adapt to the new circumstances, as it always happens. And it goes in the old pattern. And the smartest one, sorry to say, will flourish after this one.
Let's see.
What happened to us in Tirana is this communication with the client, and what is important, and what this situation is teaching us every day is that we can be creative and we can push or suggest and do very amazing ideas or campaigns, but what the situation showed is that it's not enough, and that the clients they need to act at the same time and react at the same time as the agencies do.
True this. Do we have more questions, guys? 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I think it's a wrap. If anybody wants to pop questions, our emails are open, so please don't hesitate. Ask whatever you feel like. If I may conclude, thank you all for this conversation. I think we did a good job, and I'm sorry if I was a lousy host, but I did my best. I think from south to north we are people. We share the panic adaptation phases. Our clients are the same. It's good. I think we opened up a little bit of the perspective towards the future. We want to inspire you from here to take your talents, put them into the service of a greater good. Talk to your clients. Your clients are your friends. Ask them what are the problems, how we can jump in. Talk to your communities and stay strong together and wash your hands. I don't know. Maybe somebody has anything smarter for the end. But here, let's end and thank you very much for being with us today. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Stay safe.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.